From the Heating Islands to the city-states of Eorzea to the distant land of Tyrol via the magic of podcasting. This is episode 62 of A Podcast Reborn, a show celebrating our journey in the past, present, and possible future of Final Fantasy XIV. This episode is being recorded on Sunday, December 1st, 2024. Following podcast may contain mature language and will almost definitely contain spoilers for any content in the game, including but not limited to features of patch 7.1. My name is Brian Black, otherwise known as Ro, and if you're listening to this, congratulations! You made it through Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, and Cyber Monday. Sadly, between work, this podcast, and my Casino RP later this evening, I will not be taking advantage of Sofa Sunday. I'm not kidding. Look it up. Sofa Sunday is apparently a thing. With me, as always, are my two wonderful co-hosts. First off, our Calico Cat Mom VTuber, whose sleep paralysis demon is looking very cute, even while she prepares for a cruise to... wait, I'm sorry, one moment. I have breaking news here. Yes, we have confirmed reports that she's also played WoW Classic Hardcore a few days ago. Who the... What have you done with Megan?
Okay, I can explain.
Uh-huh.
My entire Final Fantasy raid decided to play Classic, and I felt left out.
Yeah?
My explanation is that I'm extremely susceptible to peer pressure.
Fair.
And also, it was my birthday on Sunday, and our raid leader bought me WoW time as a present, and so I got it.
Totally valid. The whole reason why I got into playing World of Warcraft way back in the Burning Crusade days is because my Final Fantasy XI Link Shell basically left for that game. And I was like, guys, and they're like, come play this. I'm like, oh, okay. And the rest is kind of history there. And, of course, we have blogger, machinist, part-time warlock, and a man who can't wait to play a Path of Giants Karlach in a playthrough of Baldur's Gate 3 next year. Hi, Brandon.
I mean, if you're not looking forward to that, I don't know what to tell you. But, you know, guys, I have to say, this whole Sofa Sunday thing was, you know, it seems like it was put out by a guy calling himself the Sofa King. Anybody? No?
Oh.
Okay.
No, you have to God.
The whole idea sounds so stupid.
That's not a PC joke anymore.
Yeah.
That was big when I was in high school. God.
Indeed. But before we get to what you're all really here for from me, Megan, I have to ask you, what exactly are you playing in Classic?
Shaman. We have to be Horde. I would have been a Paladin otherwise, because this is Classic, so no pretty elves.
So you have, in fact, made the correct choice. Good for you. So, out of the way.
If we did Alliance, I would have been a Night Elf Druid. I just can't. I can't Tauren. Maybe I can. I don't know. Maybe, but I don't like it. Like, being a woman of a certain age playing a female Tauren is just like so on brand that it's painful. And I can't do it. But my troll shaman is in fact named Only Toes. Because Feet Picks was taken.
That is entirely fair.
Wow.
Also,
Feet Picks was taken.
Yes.
Do we have a title before I even get to the dad joke? I love it.
I don't know.
For some reason, everybody in my guild is rolling trolls, and I think it's because they're the nicest to look at on the Horde, except for the feet. The feet are hideous.
I do have to say, not liking to play Tauren, that just sounds utterly ridiculous.
Oh, no.
But let's skip all the other dad crap I've come up with in the past 2 seconds and say, did you guys hear about the crystalline conflict match between a team of all astrologians and a team of all pictomancers? It went back and forth for a bit, but in the end, it was a draw.
Oh. I need to wash that down with something.
Yeah, I'm dead now.
Perfect.
Oh, boy. That's the first drink I've had all year. All right.
That joke would have been way funnier in January.
Yeah. As promised, I did say 2 weeks ago we'd have another episode in a couple weeks, and here we are. I would say that not a lot has changed in the last couple of weeks, although we have had a little bit of stuff happen. We had the new Ultimate Raid release, and I'm sure none of us have been involved in trying that raid out, but I would bet I'm not the only person who's watched some of it to at least see what the heck it's all about and like what the alternate story is. Did either of you guys check it out?
No.
Unfortunately, aside from seeing the lovely image at the end of the raid, I have not heard anything about the alternate universe story that takes place in there.
So, like, for Christmas, I give everybody, like, hand-knitted objects. So I've basically been a textile factory for the past couple weeks. And I've been watching classic anime. Ward is making me watch all of Slayers, which you'll remember from our waifu wars, was his number one waifu. And I've been watching a little bit of Fushigi Yugi. I got to the part with the domestic violence for laughs, and I was like, "Oh, this aged badly." But I did watch all of Goku Private Eye, which is delightfully insane. But it does have a lot of tits. Just so many tits.
Wait, Goku Private Eye?
Yes. Okay. He's a future cyborg, but he's got a cybernetic staff that can extend forever. That's his power. So that is why he is named Goku Private Eye. I don't know. It's from the 80s. Does that predate freaking Dragon Ball Goku? I don't know. I'm not looking it up. But oh my god, it's absolutely bonkers. It's directed by the same guy who did Wicked City. It's very similarly, I would say, more violent and more violent of the sexual variety than Goku Private Eye was. But look, ultraviolet 80s anime, it's always fucking sick, but it's also fucking sick. So just keep that in mind. It looks incredible, though, I would say. But just know what you're getting into. But if you want to watch like an ultraviolet 80s anime that is really light on the unfortunate to women content, I would recommend Demon City Shinjuku. That one's got a lot of violence. It's got a lot of demons. It's got a lot of swords fighting with the demons. But you will not come out of it feeling gross like if you watch Ninja Scroll.
Okay. That's not exactly a high bar to clear there.
No, it's not.
Also, you will be happy to note my daughter has started watching Demon Slayer and she's obsessed.
Yay! One of us. Okay, Demon Slayer is a pretty good, what do they call them? Gateway drug. I would say it's a very, very well done formulaic shonen. So since she has not seen any other shonen battle anime, all of it will be new to her, and it will be very exciting.
Yeah, exciting.
And the anime,
that's the word for it.
The anime is incredibly gorgeously animated. Like, oh my god. Like I've already read all the manga, so like I'm not watching the anime to like see any new story, but the battles in that thing, holy fuck, so good. They look so cool. You don't like cool stuff?
I love cool stuff. Anime's just not cool.
I like cool stuff. Hey, anime can be cool.
Anime can be super cool. And I'm really obsessed with...
I'm just seeing into my grumpy anti-anime old man trope. What do you want from me at this point?
So, my favorite anime currently is Dan to Dan, but I can't recommend it definitely not to Brandon because it has a lot of fan service bullshit.
You can anything with fan service bullshit you can recommend to me. It's fine.
Okay, Dan to Dan, definitely watch it. I've read. I'm not caught up on the manga, but I'm really far ahead of what they've done in the anime so far. It's hilarious and heartfelt and fucking crazy in the best. Do you like Chainsaw Man?
I
do. It's like a non-depressing version of Chainsaw Man.
Nice. I'm on board already.
It's like
I think that's the thing that I like the least about Chainsaw Man, which is just like, man, this guy just can't get a fucking break.
You gotta. I'm not gonna say it gets better because I am caught up on the Chainsaw Man manga, and it does not. It's not very well, right? It's not going well for him right now at the moment. But goddamn, I still love it. I think while I really love the part 2 characters, I still don't think they're better than Power and Aki were. But what you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Chainsaw Man. The anime is incredible. I'm really looking forward to. They're gonna be coming out with a movie that goes over the next arc. Super excited for that. The Dan to Dan anime is fan-fucking-tastic. It's coming out on Netflix weekly right now. It comes out on Thursdays. And it is animated so great. And it's so fucking crazy. And I love it. I will say, well, there is fan service. It's not like panty shot bouncy boob fan service. It's like occasionally the main character girl is in her underwear fan service, but it's not like the camera's not really like leering on her. I don't know if that makes it better to me personally. And also the main male character also ends up having his clothes blasted off. I would say just about as much. So to me, look, I get it. Okay. I have the problem of being both a feminist and attracted to women. Which is a really tough spot to be in, especially if you're an anime fan, because it's like, fan service, no objectification. But in my mind, I don't mind fan service as long as the female characters are characters and they have agency and they are like an integral part of the plot and they're not just like a love interest dangled in the front. And I would say Dan to Dan passes that with flying colors. Momo is a fucking delight and I love her. And her and the main guy's like chemistry is great. They're very funny. And yeah. And they introduce more female characters as they go. And I love all of them that I've met so far. Including fucking Turbo Granny, which, oh boy, how she gets introduced.
Please tell me that's not her actual name.
That is her actual name because she is a yokai. She is a ghost.
Of course.
And her curse is if you go to her tunnel, because of course it's a haunted tunnel because it's Japan. That's one of the like Japan urban legends. If you go to her tunnel and you run across her and you run away, she races you. And if she wins, she curses you. And so that's why she's called Turbo Granny, because she can run at 60 kilometers per hour or something like that. 100 kilometers per hour. I don't know. But oh my God. The first thing. So, okay, I'm just going to like give you a quick brief synopsis of the first episode. Basically, the main boy character is a like cryptid alien enthusiast. Like he subscribes to like World Weekly and believes in Nessie and like, all that stuff. And then the main girl character believes in like ghosts and spirits and stuff. And they literally get in a fight because they each think that the other thing is fake. Because he was getting bullied for believing in cryptids. And she's like, oh, it's okay. I believe in ghosts. And he's like, ghosts aren't real. And she's like, what? Fuck you. So they both dare each other to go to a location of the other thing. So he goes to the haunted tunnel and she goes to a spot where like aliens abduct people. And they're both right. Both things are real.
Why does it sound eerily like the plot of last expansion's Manderville plotline?
Oh my God. I mean, that's why I'm like, Manderville is like anime bullshit times 11. It's like that, but this is like more like if the Manderville plotline had like real emotional stakes and like really well-developed characters that you actually like. But yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. Megan admits Manderville storyline has no developed characters that people like.
Oh my God, no, they're not developed at all, but that's fine. We're not spending, a 50 episode TV series with them. We're spending like, an hour or two of quests. Like they're flat characters. The whole point of their comedy is that their weird flatness just bounces off all the situations around them. And like, anyway, yeah, watch Dan to Dan. It's great. But know that the first episode has some moments in the alien abduction specifically that might put you off with the fan service. And I will say that is the squickiest it gets in the entire series. I don't know why they front loaded it like that. I guess they're like, if you can get through this, baby, none of the rest of it will get to you. So there you go. But yeah, I'm fan service. Feminist. Fan service. Feminist. It's difficult.
All right. Well, I will definitely, I still I still need to find time to watch more anime. I find myself wanting. Here's the thing. I have found myself lately in a weird kind of rut where I'm not playing Final Fantasy XIV all the time because there's not necessarily stuff I want to do in the game right now. I mean, I'm doing the Alliance raid because the Alliance raid, as I've said, is freaking awesome. It's my favorite raid in the game. But I'm basically logging in each week to do Casino RP stuff or play that Alliance raid so I can get my coin, and I will do some roulettes so that I get tomestones to get item level 730 gear, because I don't care about which pieces are best in slot and which aren't. I'm one of those casuals who's just like, what's the highest number I can get easily? 730? Okay, cool. But when I'm not playing Final Fantasy XIV, I've been trying to look for other things to do. And I mean, watching anime is definitely an option, but I keep on going toward games. And then recently, I think I've found a compromise. Well, I mean, Metaphor ReFantazio is kind of anime and video game. And the game that I'm currently playing off and on is that too. So you know Howl's Moving Castle, right?
Yeah.
Studio Ghibli. Okay.
My favorite movie of all time. Yes.
Yes. So
didn't we talk about this ad nauseum?
So here's the thing. I was being a little sarcastic when there's this Japanese RPG called Ni no Kuni.
Oh yeah.
Which was produced in partnership with Studio Ghibli. I never played the first Ni no Kuni. I am currently playing Ni no Kuni 2, which, while it's not necessarily a collaboration with Studio Ghibli, a couple of the Studio Ghibli people are still worked on that game. So it has a very Studio Ghibli kind of like imagery and feel and look to it. And the music, I guess, the music composer, Hisaishi, is part of it too. So I've been playing Ni no Kuni 2 because it's not a turn-based RPG, but it's a Japanese action RPG that has kingdom building in it. Like it's like a main part of the story is you create a new kingdom and you're responsible for different aspects of it. So there's like the kingdom building management and action RPG, and it's the right kind of stuff for my brain that I'm into. So I've been playing some of that, and that's like I would say I get my anime fix from that game. So when I'm playing games that are kind of anime to begin with, like, hey, Final Fantasy XIV, then I'm like, well, I've already done all the anime watching I want to watch by playing the games. So I think that's part of the reason why I don't end up watching as much anime as I could, because I already play games that are very anime-ish.
Well, I would say what's really nice about like being current with or like watching an anime as it releases is that you only watch one episode a week. So it doesn't really take up that much time. And it gives you something to be excited and like look forward to.
I remember, and you're going to shake your head when I say this, I'm sure, but I used to be that way with the first anime that really, really grabbed me. I watched some anime in the past, like, man, I'm old enough to remember the Macross Saga or Robotech, whatever. but the anime that like grabbed me into like modern anime, it's kind of basic by many people's standards, but Death Note, I watched that every week when a new episode came out, because oh my god, when Death Note was new and current back in the day, when new episodes were coming out on Adult Swim, that thing was a freaking amazing. When no one knew, because
never a lot be of ashamed of liking Death Note. Death Note is peak until Death Note Part 1 is peak.
It's Death Note is good until episode 27, then it's bad.
That it's mid. It's fine. The thing is that the beginning is so good that once a certain thing happens, it cannot reach that height again. Yeah. And honestly, I'm willing to just stop it right there. I'm like, a winner has been declared. It is over. Yeah. Like, we do not need to continue. And but like, oh god, I was reading the fucking manga. You want to know how ancient I am?
and I'm aware of some of the differences in the manga. So I've never read the manga, but I know I've done enough like research and stuff to know that. And
I
some
was
things are
buying
different.
the little $10 Tokyo Pop like volumes of Death Note manga, spending my fucking allowance on it. That's how ancient I am. Oh my god. I will say, if you want a writer who writes good women, do not go to that writer.
Oh no. The female characters in that, no,
and every other, he's written a few other, I think it's Obata, I think is his name. He's done Death Note. He did a manga that is enjoyable for a lot of aspects. It's called Bakuman, and it's about making a manga for Shonen Jump. So it's about like two high school boys, coming together. One's a writer, one's an artist, and they're like, ooh, bringing their manga together. It's fun for that half, especially if you're into manga. But the women in that series, oh my god, it's awful. Like, he literally has the main character who's the writer, who's clearly an author, self-insert, and is also canonically a high IQ genius. Talk about how the girl in class who's like really smart and gets good grades isn't really the smart one, because if she was really smart, she would pretend to be dumb so guys would like her more. Because really, a woman's true goal and happiness is settling down and getting married and having kids. Oh, it's so bad. It's like every female character in almost every single one of his stories is like obsessed with a man, completely dependent on a man. The only reason they do anything is for a man, and the good ones settle down with a man and get married, and the bad ones die or end up like spinsters, or get rejected by the man they're obsessed with and fucking kill themselves. It's awful. It's so fucking bad. And it's like the rest of Death Note, like in Death Note, you could kind of just cordon that off to Misa and ignore everything else. And you could be like, well, maybe it's just one really ditzy character. Like, that's fine, But then when you get into a series where he has multiple female characters, you're like, oh, no, that's just what he thinks women are. Ah, fuck.
Yeah.
Gross.
So
I did not realize that he wrote women that way in multiple stuff. So.
It's so bad. Well, and as like I think I was in college when Bakuman was coming out, and I was excited about comics, and so I was like, ooh, a manga about manga, but written by an author and an artist that I really admire from Death Note, and then like get to that fucking chapter, and I'm like, oh, this is not for me. Let me take myself and my stupid uterus and go elsewhere, good sir. Fucker. Oh.
All right. Well,
it's bad. Like, look, I'm an anime fan, okay? I can excuse a lot. My tolerance for sexist bullshit is really high. And he dances over that line, does a little jig, tells me to get back in the kitchen, and fucks off.
Hey, I understand the desire to put a nice pick through that guy's brain. Brandon.
Yes.
Have you been up to any shenanigans in Final Fantasy XIV with Thanksgiving around and all that?
Unfortunately, between trying to, because we normally only have 2 people over for Thanksgiving. This year we had 6 more.
Oh,
so between all the, pre-Thanksgiving, like, grad school stuff my wife has going on, all the house cleaning we had to do, and that was considerable, all the shopping we had to do for food. By the time I got to a point where I was like, okay, I can, chill and enjoy some freaking video games, I had time to log in, do my freaking Pelu Pelu dailies, maybe run a roulette if I was super lucky, and call it a night and go to sleep.
Mm.
So, unfortunately, I have still not run the stinking new Alliance raid.
Wow.
Because I have just I have not had the time.
Oh,
but
man.
Today, the final house guests went back home. We finally have our house back. It's actually still mostly clean, believe it or not. So I'm like, oh, it's over. If I'm not exhausted by some stroke of luck by this evening, I will probably make time to do the Alliance raid. Oh, but yeah, it's been absolutely insane over here. But Thanksgiving went off really, really well. The food was all fantastic. The in-laws were mostly not annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Now it's over, and now we plan to go somewhere else for Christmas because I'm like, I'm done hosting people for the year. This is the one time you get to come to my house.
That's fair.
That makes sense. Yeah, me and Ward's families are all in the Bay Area, which is like 7 hours away by car. So we're doing Thanksgiving or Christmas. You pick. They're always like, Christmas.
Yeah, everyone comes to our place for Thanksgiving, and then we go to Texas for Christmas. And yeah, last year we ended up doing it because we had severe money problems, and also my dad and stepmom ended up getting COVID. So
Oof.
We ended up not going to Texas for Christmas, but we're doing it again this year.
Yeah.
Megan, what about you? What have you been up to as far as 14 goes? I mean, you played a lot of classic hardcore WoW.
I have not played a lot. Okay, I'm level 5.
Okay, that is not a lot. Although by hardcore WoW standards, that could be like 2 hours?
In classic WoW, that would have taken you 6 days. What are you talking about?
Oh my god. Well, classic WoW feels like it feels long, all right? There's no quest markers. Like, I don't know where to go to do my fucking quest. I was like, don't worry, I memorized where all the shit is because I've done this so many times. Apparently not. And apparently I haven't done a shaman so many times because I could not find where the fucking shaman quest was supposed to be.
Isn't that on like a separate island or something?
I don't know. The guy is like, it's to the southwest. And I'm like, it's just mountains to the southwest. What are you talking about? So I'm like fucking Billy goating through these mountains trying to find what the fuck he's talking about. Clicking the item in my bags to like try and use it because he's like, use this thing at the spot. And I'm like, every time I click on it, it's like, require shaman shrine. I'm like, where is it?
Well, if you're playing classic, you got to go to a classic website, pull up old Thoughtbot.
I did. And it didn't help. It just put a like exclamation point like over in the middle of the fucking mountains again, and I couldn't figure out how to get to it. My brain is melting. So yeah, I have a troll shaman named Only Toes, and it's going badly. And Ward is like so fucking happy because he loves classic WoW, and he's made like 10 ults. And like every time I sit down at the computer, he looks at me hopefully. And I preferred Turtle WoW, to be honest, which is like a private server that does like hardcore, and it has all these other challenges you could do at the same time, but it actually gives you a reward for doing the challenges. Like you get extra items or you get like different stuff, and they have high elves on the Alliance in Classic. Like they made a whole starting zone for high elves and like use the blood elf models, and so you can be a pretty elf and you don't have to be ugly. Nobody looks good in Classic WoW, let's be real.
I was gonna say everyone's ugly with those old models.
Everybody's chunky polygons, fucking human females breathe through their tits alone.
Wow. That's the first time I've ever heard it described like that.
Have you not? Just zoom it. It's literally the breast
you're not wrong.
And deflate. It is incredible.
Yeah.
I didn't play anything on the Alliance side until like many expansions into the game's life cycle. So I've never experienced this before.
One of my very first character was a Forsaken Rogue, which I played with Ward. We were 2 Forsaken Rogues so we could sneak around. Because Ward was like, yeah, let's go on a PvP server. Great idea. So I was a Forsaken Rogue on a PvP server, so you can imagine how well that went for me. And then later he was like, yeah, let's be more chill. We'll roll on an RP server. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to be a fucking human this time. The most basic of basic. Because I didn't know much about the lore. And I figured like, being a human, if I'm going to RP, I can bullshit better because hopefully they don't have too much complicated backstory. They're just humans. Little did I know. But yeah, so I was a human warrior, and he was a rogue again. I don't know. I guess he still really likes rogues, but he was like a human rogue, and I just remember so many times like looking over at his fucking sausage fingers, at his giant man mustache, and being like, God damn, this is hideous. And then, like, I was looking at my character. I'm like, it's not so bad. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I, like, zoom in on the fucking titties. And she's in, like, plate armor, of course, because it's a warrior. And the tits are just going, and I was like, oh my fucking God.
And this is while she's wearing armor, so the armor is breathing too, right?
Stretching.
Yes. inflating and deflating, and I was like, what the fuck? Oh my god. And like also, of course, I kept getting plate keenies because it's WoW.
Yeah,
It's what you
classic
do.
WoW.
So yeah, my Final Fantasy raid has quit Final Fantasy and wants to play hardcore classic. Everybody's rolling trolls because they decided we were going horde. And
I mean, it is the objectively correct choice.
But Orgrimmar though. Brother,
I don't remember what Orgrimmar used to be like. I can't really help you there.
Classic Orgrimmar.
It's awful. I hate it. I'm like, you could be in Stormwind, okay? We could be in the Disney Castle. We're over here in the fucking Dusk Pit.
Dusk.
I hate it. They're like pre Silvermoon. There are no good horde cities, and I will fight you. Because like Orgrimmar doesn't have fucking. I guess Mulgor's okay because it's got a little like centrally located stuff, the Thunder Bluff, but like having to get the fuck up there and then go between the islands, it sucks. I hate it.
I mean,
Undercity has the highest kill count of anything in fucking hardcore classic. Every 2 minutes while you're running around, if you have death notifications on, it's like fall damage.
I mean, as someone who doesn't understand the appeal of classic or the appeal of hardcore anything, you kind of did it to yourself.
Ward likes it, man. You have to ask him. I'm trying to let the nostalgia carry me. And it is to a degree. But at the same time, how I used to play World of Warcraft to like level and stuff, I was like, I would put on like a podcast or something else. So that like, cause like World of Warcraft, even like play up until like playing retail back when I was actively playing, it is not enough to fully occupy your brain. And I try to stream classic while nobody's in my chat. Oh my god, it is like Chinese water torture, except instead of dripping, it's just footsteps. It's just and then bonk, 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 bonk. And I'm like, oh my fucking god. So yeah, that's how that's going, and I'm going to continue doing it because I know that my pain is amusing.
I mean,
and because like everybody in my life is like, what's WoW Classic time? And I'm like, okay. It's like that meme of like, honey, it's time for your WoW Classic. I'm like, okay.
Time for your daily beating.
Well, I hope it becomes a little less torturous, and good luck on those elevators.
I'm so scared. I've never gone to
Thunder Bluff. I'm sure has caused a few deaths too.
Oh yeah. Well,
yeah.
The thing is, the elevators in Undercity move faster than falling speed. Yeah. So if you step into the elevator right as it's going down, you're fucked. Like there's nothing you can do. And so it is literally like a player trap.
Nice.
Hold on. No. Oh, dropped it. Oh god, she's got a cord. Hold on.
Okay.
Baba, no.
Meanwhile, one thing that I wanted to do, since this is more than likely going to be our last episode of the year, because I think our next episode will be the first Sunday or so in January. I wanted to kind of go around the table here, as it were, and come up with some predictions for 2025. Now, here's the thing. You don't necessarily have to be super serious with these predictions. In fact, I encourage you to be wacky with these predictions. But I would love it if even one of the things one of us comes up with actually comes true. So here's the deal. Each of us are going to make 3 predictions. One is related to the story. One is just general game stuff. It doesn't have to be lore related. And then the third prediction can be a completely random ass prediction. It doesn't even have to be about Final Fantasy XIV.
Okay.
So, I will start first to hopefully give Brandon and Megan. Are you back from untangling wires,
Yes.
Megan? Okay.
I thought it was an electrical cord, but it was not.
Okay.
Just
I will go first to give the other two a little bit of time to think. As far as predictions for 2025, my story prediction for 2025 in Dawn Trail is that Zero is coming back in patch 7.4 to kick off the lead-off story that's going to head into 8.0. And we're going to find out that she is indeed a reflection of Asm. It'll be tied to the Hourglass bullshit shenanigans there. My next prediction for Dawn Trail, which isn't necessarily story-related, is a prediction that I made for Dawn Trail, I think, in general, and I continue to stand by this. I believe that a Black Waltz will be a trial or raid encounter by the end of 2025. For those who play Final Fantasy IX, big black mage looking thing with wings. It has to be an encounter. It just freaking has to be. Maybe they'll use it in a variant dungeon. That would be cool too. My random ass predictions. We're going to get a gold saucer game that makes use of Solution 9 or Electrope technology. That way they can do something like a VR game and do the bike game and explain it. Or, something like that. And our trial series is going to be an entire Monster Hunter crossover trial series, which I may not necessarily want, mind you. I'm not a Monster Hunter fan, but I think the trial series is going to be a Monster Hunter trial series, and it's to promote Monster Hunter Wilds, because Wilds is a big release coming out in February.
Okay.
So those are pretty much my predictions. Either one of you want to go ahead and start next with yours?
I'm still thinking, Megan, if you want to do it.
Okay. Story prediction, we're going to start doing shard travel. But I think that's pretty obvious at this point. And
it would be a bolder prediction if it was there's no shard travel at all. It's completely red herring. But
True.
yeah, I think shard travel is probably a given. Yeah.
I will add to it that I think that we're gonna go also to the 1st, not just the 13th, because I want to see my children, my daughters, and I want to see Runar again, and I would love for Graha to get to visit with oh my god, her name Lena. That would be really cute.
Does Y'shtola and Runar have their moment? Do they get together? I mean, I'm not saying.
I don't think they get together. I think, he makes eyes at her and she implies that maybe something will happen later.
And then I put a bullet between.
She won't call him another little son, though.
No, she won't.
Please do. Yes.
She will do the like, oh, I'm not, I didn't come here just to see you, like tsundere thing. But the thing is that I don't believe Y'shtola is monogamous. So I don't believe it.
You know what? I think a lot of players are pretty much believe that Y'shtola is not monogamous.
She flirts with like everybody, and like she doesn't seem like she's ready for a serious tie-me-down relationship. So even
she doesn't have time to settle down, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Even if she like has a fling with him, I don't think that they're like a couple. Although I'm sure Runar will believe that they are. But yeah. And so I'm like way more excited to go back to the 1st than the 13th. But I think that the only person I care about on the 13th is Zero. Like fucking large armor man, whatever. I don't care.
You don't want to know anything about Golbez?
No, I'm good. I'm good, bro.
Okay.
We had 5 patches of him. We're over it.
Do I want my Kudera wife back? Yes. Do I care about anybody else? No. So
also, depending on who you ask, Y'shtola is absolutely into being tied down.
I think she does the tying, sir.
Yeah, that's actually what I meant to say, and then I got my senses backwards. Ugh, I'm so sleepy.
Considering we have canonically seen her pat Oriange on the butt. The little good game, Pat. Oh man. But yeah. I'm fully willing to believe in the white-haired throuple. No, you don't get it?
No, I don't.
For Urianger, Thancred, and Y'shtola.
Oh,
They've
gotcha.
been traveling partners for such a long time.
I don't see. You see, I've always seen Urianger. I mean, I know people talk about Urianger and Thancred all the time, but I've always felt that Urianger has big ace energy.
He does.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Although I do know at least a couple people who believe that about Y'shtola. So the point is, nobody really knows anything about these people because they don't want to talk about it.
Well, I feel like they flirt with each other all the goddamn time, and it's up to you to whether that's serious or not. They are clearly playing it up as like this is not serious and we are just having banter. But what if behind the scenes it was not banter and the three of them, we're swapping, we're enjoying some downtime together from time to time. It's kind of a waste if they're not, if you think about it.
By the way, White Hair Throuple is the episode title.
Oh, there it is. Nice.
So congratulations.
It's a great little, trio. Like they cover each other's weaknesses, they bounce off each other, and they seem so comfortable to each other. And like, so they have those really sweet moments together, like when Y'shtola asked Urianger to like describe the sky for her. And right after she spanked him on the booty. Like, and like everybody thinks that Urianger and Thancred are together because they're like, my traveling companion. I'm like, they were adventurers together. Like they were roommates. Like, come on. Like, but I don't know. They have good chemistry.
Would they be tent mates?
Yeah. they're bedroll mates, bunk mates.
Yeah.
Anyway. What was I talking about? Oh, right. Story predictions. Jeez. What was the other prediction you wanted me to do?
So the other predictions don't have to be... I was looking for basically 3 predictions, but the other 2 don't have to be story-related. So anything game prediction related, or you just random ass predictions for whether it's game-related or not. I just want at least one of the 3 to be story-related.
I don't know if this will happen in 2025, but I swear to God, someday we're going to space.
That's probably cosmic exploration, though, right?
Like,
That's the whole.
Like we already did it a little bit in Endwalker. Like we have interstellar capability, and like
right.
I refuse to believe that that sad bird whose name Medion wiped out all life on Earth. And even if it did, we could get colonizing. Like,
well, I think that's what the whole cosmic exploration thing is going to be about.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to come in if it's going to start in 7.2 or 7.3, but it's supposed to be like that content is supposed to be akin to what Heaven's Ward Sky content was, but I
thought it was like the island
or Ishgardian Restoration. I mean, no, the exploration's not supposed to be like the island at all. Cosmic exploration is supposed to be closer to Ishgardian Restoration.
All right. Well, then I predict that we are either helping out like colonists or we discover a life form and make friends. Because that's what we do. We run around making friends. And then I don't know.
What if we recolonize living memory? That'd be weird.
It would be.
That would be weird. Also kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Oh man. But now it's all like dark and creepy and weird. But like, is that technically on the other shard? I don't remember how that works.
Living memory isn't a program. Living memory is on another reflection. So yeah, the question is, could cosmic exploration even be tied to the other shards and stuff? That'd be weird too.
Yeah. I don't know.
It also kind of depends on, like, are you using the Ragnarok to get to the places? Are we using electrope things to go to other places? Is it Loporits? Who knows?
I want the classic, like, space figuring. We got our fucking hyperdrive by putting Heidelin in the tank. So I want like some more, like, not quite end of the, because that was like all the way to the end of the goddamn universe. I want like not end of the universe, maybe halfway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Something from Mass Effect 2 and bring back planet scanning.
Oh my God, no, that was the worst part.
Oh.
Oh man.
Just triggered a very specific fan base right there.
All right.
Oh.
Any random ass predictions?
Any random ass predictions? I predict that we're gonna get a bunch of musicals greenlit as movies because Wicked is the biggest movie ever. And you know why that's Final Fantasy related? Fucking Garaha Tia is the romantic lead in Wicked. And I had no idea.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So imagine this. So I'm
sorry. Go ahead.
sorry. I'm already like I'm a musical. I was a theater kid. I'm huge into musicals. Obviously, I love
Yep.
Wicked. I've seen it in the theater. And so, of course, I'm going to go see Wicked. So I didn't want to know anything about the movie before I went because that's just how I like to watch movies. So outside of like the two main leads, I didn't know who anybody was cast-wise. And so I'm sitting there, I'm enjoying it's a good movie, I will say. As a Wicked fangirl, approve. Very much like if you like musicals, go for it. Also, it's very funny. I feel like the advertisements are very like you're gonna cry and it's gonna be really serious and sad. No, it's like a dark comedy / regular comedy / yeah, there are emotional moments, but it's a whimsical, funny thing. Okay, people are saying things like splendiferous. All right, like it's silly, but that's good. Let it be silly. But anyway, what was I saying? Okay, so we're sitting in the movie theater, and I know that the love interest, his name is Fierro, is going to show up at a certain time because obviously I know the story. And so, but I don't know who he's played by. And so I'm waiting. I'm like, I wonder how Fierro is going to be because everybody else has been really great so far, and I've like been really believing them as the characters. And like they're going to have to bring in like a really charming motherfucker to like get between Glinda and Alphaba.
So you had no idea.
I had
going
no
into this.
fucking idea.
Oh man.
And the scene happens at night. He rides up on a horse and like knocks Alphaba over. And so we don't see his face. We just hear his voice. He's like, whoa, horsey. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I like look at Ward and he like looks at me and we're like, what the fuck? And then he like jumps down off the horse. So we've been watching Bridgerton, so we know what he looks like at least.
Yeah.
I was going to say, have you watched Bridgerton at all? Because
I have, yes. And fucking Anthony Bridgerton, Menace to Society. We were like, after he was great in it. Number one, they play what I love the way that they play the love interest in that he is kind of like a bisexual disaster in this, in that like he's a sexy man in tight pants and he's flirting with men and women equally and like charming the whole school and like doing his little dancing through life dance and everything. Oh, it was great. But like he's so fucking charming and like, so such British princely man that I was like, okay, I buy it. I buy it 100%. But yeah, when we got out of it, Ward's like, I love that Grahatia has been typecast as a British fuckboy. I was like, yes, you need a British fuckboy in your project. You get Grahatia. Oh my god. Oh. So yeah, Sea Wicked is good. It's great. I'm really looking forward to part 2 because I think that's going to benefit even more from the I know people are like, 2 hours, it doesn't need to be that long. I'm like, it kind of does, in my opinion, because musicals are really great because you can suspend so much of your disbelief and so much of the story is just coming through the songs that you don't really need to see. But when it's like literal, human beings and we're like up in their nostrils and shit, and we got to know how this world works. We got to be more invested in the setting and the characters and everything. And I think they did a great job. Wicked fangirl approved. I did not think I would like Ariana Grande, but oh my god, she killed it. She's doing the goofiest shit, and she's doing it with such sincerity, and I love it.
I've only seen a few promo scenes, and she does do a good young Glinda.
Oh my god, just the big doe eyes while she's doing the silliest fucking thing. It's fantastic. It's so funny. That's the thing. People are like, yes, did I cry during Defying Gravity? Absolutely. I was an ugly mess. I went through a full box of tissues. But like most of it is very funny. It's like a comedy. Like it's a good time. Don't let the I'm holding space for the Defying Gravity lyrics bullshit get in the way of going to see it. It is not that serious.
All right. Brandon, have you had time to think of some predictions?
I think so, yes. One part I don't know because I can honestly see it going either way. but the tease that Y'shtola found the real Sphene, so to speak, in living memory is going to be a red herring.
Okay.
Or it might not be. It might actually be like somehow Sphene survived. But
somehow
whoever
Sphene has returned. Sorry.
Yes. I predict this may not actually happen in 2025, or it might, depending on how they pace the story. I predict that whoever that was, if it's Sphene or somebody else, they're going to be the one who leads Alexandria into the future, and they're going to cement it by having her basically form a triumvirate with Wuk-Lamat and Kona to be kind of like the three vows of whatever of like a unified Throuple. I predict that's
what I really thought was going to happen with the three promises. I was like, oh, that sounds like they had that system in ancient Rome for a while where they had three guys leading it. And I was like, oh, that's great because they'll always have like a tiebreaker and they each have different strengths. And then, but of course, then Mr. Lizard Man decided to just go full evil.
So if you have reason and resolve, what would the third vow be?
Reticence. Well, I don't freaking know, man.
Reason is smarts. I would say resolve should be military, but then they should have one that's like kindness or like heart or like community.
And that kind of fits Sphene because Sphene was all about being, I mean, like, regardless of what she did and what, I mean, like, she did it for her people, so she kind of fits the compassion thing.
There you go, Ro. That's what she's going to be, the vow of regardless.
The vow of regardless.
But
system prediction, I'm just going to do something really stupid that I want them to do. They're gonna finally give in to the cries of the machinist crowd and fucking make Flamethrower not useless.
Oh, please. I might play machinist more if Flamethrower wasn't useless.
I mean,
I've got one free for you.
Okay.
Have it either put on a dot that's like a pain, like a burning dot, or have it put on like a debuff that helps everybody attacking it of like, it is burned now.
Yeah,
although you guys probably wouldn't like that because it would mean it's something else that you've got to maintain.
I don't care. I just want to use this cool button I got for completing my class quest at level 70 and not immediately go, well, off the toolbar with you.
Yeah, well, no, you keep it for dungeons, all right?
Yeah, whatever.
You keep it for that much. That's the problem I have with a lot of with the way the game is set up right now is that everything is like two completely different action sets, whether it's single target or multi-target. And like I have to set up my bars two different ways depending on if I'm doing a raid or if I'm doing like, multi-target shit. Some classes are better than others, but at least on Summoner, it is a huge pain in the ass. Like I have all of my AoE shit like on the end of my keyboard, like near the backspace. And so running, unless I want to like shift it all and then shift it back later, I'm like, dungeoning with my hands crossed.
It's very, very annoying.
I don't like it.
Yeah. Here's my out there prediction, and I'm not sure I consider this out there, but your favorite voice actor from FF16 and mine, one Ben Starr, he's not going to be in the game yet, but he's going to be announced for a major role at some point in FF14's lifespan.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I would be willing to bet. He seems to get along well with your Spee.
Oh, yeah.
So,
man, what if Ben Starr ends up being like a different reflection of Azam?
That would be super cool. And I can hear all the FF16 fangirls of him squeeing in delight right now.
As I just did.
Yes.
Well, I'm not even. I've been looking at buying. I think FF16 might be on sale right now with the Steam
Black
sale.
Friday weekends.
But oh my god! Like I've only heard him on TikTok, and I'm enamored.
But yeah, that's my out there quote unquote prediction. He's going to have a major speaking role in FF14 at some point, and it's going to be announced but not ready for 2025.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean they're going to announce. I think they would announce the next. When do they announce the next expansion? Usually around the 0.4 patch, right? And the 0.4 patch should be in November. Oh, hold on. No, they won't do They didn't do FanFest. I'm trying to think.
No.
They'll probably do a FanFest Japan at the end of next year, and that's probably where they'll announce it.
I would add to the prediction that he'll be at the next FanFest.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Announce they'll have him say something from behind the screen, and then they'll be like, introducing he's going to be a character in the future. They're not going to announce what his character is going to be.
Oh no, definitely.
But they're just going to be they're going to have him announce something and come out, and everybody will freak out, and he'll be like, "Oh, you guys know who I am." I haven't even been in your game yet.
I honestly figured what was going to happen is that some video game reporting website would somehow find out and scoop everyone on it.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe you're right. Maybe they managed to keep that secret until one of the fan fests.
I think that would be cool. And I'm also just thinking of they do such a good job of having big, exciting moments at FanFest.
That is true.
That is one thing they have done very well. And they did. I had a lot of fun when I was actually there.
I can't wait to diagnose what the hell Yoshi's next shirt means.
Yeah. It's always something. It's always so fucking random when it comes out, and we're all like, "What?" It's never oh, I knew it, or oh, I thought it might be. It's always
there we go. When we have a prediction show for the first FanFest, one of the predictions has to be, what is Yoshi going to wear? The person who comes closest wins the question.
I'm going to repeat my question about Keiko from last prediction show because it's just too obvious at this point. It's too much fun.
All right. Well, I think we will go ahead and start about wrapping it up here. 2024 went by very, very quickly.
Yeah, really fun.
Yeah. Here we are going into the new year. I don't think that, and while I don't think that Dawn Trail is necessarily the expansion that people thought it was going to be, I think that I don't say this from, obviously I'm optimistic, but I think that what we see in 2025 from Dawn Trail is going to be something special. And I don't know exactly how, but I really think that this expansion's better days are going to be in 2025. And when people talk about Dawn Trail and remember Dawn Trail, they're going to remember it for the content in the latter patches of the game. Kind of similar to, some people would say that Stormblood was kind of like that too, where Stormblood's initial story was very polarizing, but the latter content patches had people very excited. I think we're going to see something similar with Dawn Trail, and I'm really excited about that prospect.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Dawn Trail would have been polarizing no matter what, just because of what it is following up.
It's a hard reboot.
Yeah. It's hard to get the ball rolling again from a dead stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think people's expectations were, I don't think they could be met. I don't think that just that they were set too high. I think they were what were you expecting? What could they possibly do to top the literal penultimate conclusion? Come on, guys. I really, really liked it. I don't know if it's in my top 3, but that's just because those all were building on each other, and I'm really looking forward to see where we go next. And I liked all the characters we met, and if you don't like Wooklamot, you are wrong.
Wooklamot's fine. I have no problem with Wooklamot.
I adore her. I think she was an integrally great part of this expansion. And everybody's like, I remember when I was the main character of this story. I'm like, bitch, we don't talk, okay?
Yeah.
They got to fill up voice acting up with somebody, and guess what? We're over here helping her. Who did you expect was going to end up talking most of the time?
I just think it's a crime that Otis was taken from us far too soon.
I can agree with
true.
that.
I agree. But who knows? If Sven came back, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe Otis comes back too. That'd be pretty crazy.
Let's have that copia.
Maybe that's who you stole in Shale found is Otis.
Otis in Sven's body.
Oh my God!
My people. Hey, it's his people too. My people.
I'm here for it. Yes.
All right. Well, until next time when we talk to you from the other side of the the year changeover here. Brandon, where can people find you?
Oh, you guys can find me on Blue Sky. Just look for the BMAT. I've got that same username on Instagram, on Tumblr. Just if you really want to see what I'm up to, go check one of those out. You know, it's all good. You can also catch me on the sorry, just had something caught in my throat. The D&D podcast +5 to hit, where Ro basically dropped a horrifying bombshell on us and then said, "And we're going to end right there." And we're all like, "No." Because
love it when that happens.
Yeah, it's what you do. You drop an amazing bombshell and then you end an episode. You can also go catch my D&D related writing over at yourquestlogisfull.wordpress.com. It's basically me blogging about D&D and other TTRPG topics that I find interesting. And occasionally Final Fantasy XIV if I think of something interesting to write about, which hasn't happened lately. But hey, you know what? We got a whole new year coming.
Indeed. Megan, I know you're going on a cruise for a bit, but once you are back from it, where can people find you?
I am at Catmom Megan. Megan is spelled Meagan. It is all one word. I'm on Twitch is the main one. I stream Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 3, sometimes 3:30 p.m. Sorry about that. And you can find me on Blue Sky, on Twitter, although I only post about when I'm going live on Twitch. If you want to see like pictures of my cats and like doodles and shit, come to Blue Sky, or Tumblr. I'm on Tumblr and I'm on TikTok where I post stream highlights sometimes when I remember to do it. And I have an Instagram now where I'm putting my art up. So Catmom Megan everywhere.
Awesome. As for people, if you want to get a hold of me, best way to do so is to contact the show's email at apodcastreborn@gmail.com, or you can contact me on Blue Sky with the show's Blue Sky at apodcastreborn. We are a part of Bonus Roll Productions. You can go to bonusroll.gg to find out a little bit more about the show. And the theme music, of course, is provided by Husky by the Geek. A link to his YouTube channel will be included in the show notes. Any music from him or any Final Fantasy XIV derivative music that you hear from anyone else on this podcast belongs to Square Enix, and no copyright infringement is intended. That's going to do it for episode 62 and for 2024 for this podcast. For Megan, for Brandon, and of course for Butterscotch, Bonbon, and Toffee, this is Brian Black. Until next time, may your loot rolls be high, your glamour fantastic, and your duties always complete. Brandon.
As per usual, we talk about a video game on this show. We've talked about a few other video games in this particular episode. But here's a question I have for you guys. What is a Viper's all-time favorite video game?
Oh my gosh.
Power Wash Simulator.
That would be Metal Gear Solid, The Twin Snakes.
Sorry, I thought it was going to be I'm the window viper, I come to wipe your windows.
I did that joke already, I don't repeat myself.
It's cool, I forget everything.
Happy holidays, everybody.